Ahsoka, do you mind if I talk to you for a minute?
Sure, whatever is it, but I just know I can hear you out, but I can't interfere.
Well, I didn't want you to get, I don't know, jealous because,
Why? I wouldn't be of steel.
well, I've just been seeing maybe when I was kissing my new girlfriend that you kind of looked sad, and I know we had something maybe before, or maybe I'm imagining things. Or...
Okay, I'm a different alien race than you, so maybe it seems like you're projecting emotions onto me when you don't know like the expressions I make and what they mean. So maybe
Oh,
my sadness was more sort of like delightment that this incel finally found someone.
whoa!
I'm sorry. Sorry, you just
sorry.
I have some still negative separatist connotations from when you used to be more on that side of the spectrum. So
But I guess I always thought that you had pretty similar to human facial communications. When we've shared smiles in the past, you were upset.
that was just me yawning.
Yeah. So a smile is a yawn
Yeah.
for.
I'm often very
Togrutan.
sleepy.
Oh, okay. I get it. Being you're a galaxy-setting Jedi, a lot on your plate. Okay, well, good. Then you're not jealous at all. So, then you probably wouldn't mind sharing a bedroom with me and Stila.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were gonna say both of us at first, and that was gonna be a little strange, just the two of us alone. But that's actually maybe not a bad idea if we did do that.
Well,
And maybe
it's
Stila could she could stay in one of the ships or something.
no, she no, she will she
No,
will.
actually, yes, like a queen bee. We keep her separated from the rest of the worker bees.
Well, that won't do. See, she's very stressed out leading this rebellion and needs me to
She's
alleviate her through, massages and
Okay.
things that couples do.
Well, what about me? I'm stressed and tired. You've seen me yawning a lot, so.
Well, okay. Well, now I know you've been yawning.
And not a single thought or care in your head has come. What about Ahsoka? Maybe, there'll be a situation in the future where you need my force ability, and I'll be too exhausted, too exasperated to fully focus and do what I need to do.
Are you threatening me?
No, I'm just saying. Things happen when.
Look, I started this conversation because I care about your feelings. I didn't want you to be hurt, and I just wanted to break the news to you that yes, I'm with Stila now. So our whatever we had, it I knew it was never meant to be, but we can't.
Okay, I won't interfere. That's your choice. Your decision has been made.
Whoop. Oh man.
And maybe I'll interfere, then just midway through decide, actually, I'm gonna stop interfering. That could happen too.
Oh man, well, I hope this won't affect your, or this won't influence your feelings towards our rebellion at large.
I don't know, separatists kind of have a point.
Okay, well, that's how I used to feel.
Well, she's on the other side.
Okay.
It's kind of like my femcel Ahsoka.
Yeah, no, that was cool.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Beggars Canyon Boys, guys. Let's give each other a little round of applause for. And thank you, Patrick, for the extra hand lended there. 2 hands. Yeah. This is episode 57 of the Beggars Canyon Boys. Nice. Can you believe we've done 57 of these things?
Honestly, I would have guessed more.
Yeah, well, sometimes we skip weeks.
True, yeah.
Usually not because of me.
Well, actually, I'd say usually... who's the one who shows up and forgot to watch one of the episodes? I will say I've done that.
That's probably happened to both of us.
Yeah, sure. But who did it most recently?
Yep, that was me.
I did it in our foundational stages, probably, of the podcast, when we're still learning, how the heck does a mic work? And
Right.
sort of just the
Where's the record button on this thing?
yeah, exactly. So, which I think there are a few early ones. Also, the video wasn't working, and that was out of my control. That was someone else's responsibility.
Well, okay.
Just if we're throwing things out there.
I forget what I kind of threw you under the bus for. Oh yeah, no, I remember. That it was your fault that we haven't done it every week.
Mhm.
Well, I don't care, and I don't mean that. And I don't mean that.
Well, I care because it's my reputation, okay? And you're just smearing it like shit on the grass.
Ryan's
out here.
unreliable, guys.
Wow, okay. I'm not gonna be able to get a job in the future if I want to now.
Yeah. Hey, Bob Iger. Hey, Mr. Steven Spielberg.
Kind of the places you see me working at, huh?
Well, wouldn't you like to? Wouldn't that be cool?
No, that would be. I'm saying I like that you sort of see that for me,
Well,
you
I
didn't
used
say,
to
like,
see it for you.
Okay, sure. But you didn't go like, hey,
Mr. Musk.
yeah, I don't want. I was like, who's the McDonald's CEO? But I don't know his
Oh,
name.
I don't know. Mr. Founder.
Yeah.
No, but we'll actually both be working for Mr. Filoni very soon.
Yeah, new lore masters.
Yes. Well, one new lore master, Ryan, because he kind of is focused on like, ooh, let me make sure I just know everything from the past. Whereas I actually kind of have my own creative ideas that I would like to bring to the Star Wars universe. So I will actually be show running a few, Disney Plus originals as
Sure.
well as doing a full length for a theatrical release film.
I guess what I would say to that is kind of an interdisciplinary thing, and you need the lore master. Like, imagine Star Wars as a garden,
Right.
and I can sort of go back and I can like prune the weeds of it, unlock some new pathways, and open up some soil for some new storytelling. Like, might get rid of like the Luke, Anakin, father-son relationship.
Huh.
Just change some stuff up.
Oh.
Open up some. We've heard it 1,000 times before. Luke, I'm your father, or whatever.
Right, I
whatever he
know.
says.
It's old hat at this point.
Yeah, so let's change it.
Yeah, well, when I'm in a position of power, I'll kind of like be whispering in Filoni's ear, being like, "This Ryan guy's not really on the level.
Whoa.
First of all, not reliable.
Wow.
Second of all,
Okay, a little Palpatine. Is that the play?
yeah. Well, yeah. I'm more. Well, yeah.
I guess he'd be. Well, no, yeah.
No,
I guess
yeah,
no one
well,
fits that type perfectly.
Well, he's like King Theoden, maybe, and I'm like Grimir Wormtongue. Huh?
That's some Lord of the
Patrick's
Rings
over
there.
here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What's their big book? Like the book in it called the Silmarillion? What is it?
Yeah, Silmarillion.
Silmarillion. There we go. Did you watch sorry to direct towards you, but did you watch
to cut this part out?
the animated Lord of the Rings movie that came out a couple years ago?
The Rohirrim one?
Yeah.
I did not.
Oh, I almost watched that, but I was like, this is probably something I feel like maybe it's lore dependent on the rest of Lord of the Rings, but
Just be such a classic Ryan move to watch War of the Rohirrim without
looks
seeing
cool.
any other.
It looked really sick. Come on, animation like that? Ooh,
No,
nice.
visually it looked cool. I heard it was kind of boring though.
Hmm.
Didn't you hear like not good stuff about it? Whoa.
I didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah.
Which, if there's silence about a Lord of the Rings project,
Yeah.
not great.
Rings of Power season 2.
I have heard a lot about that. There goes that theory.
Yeah, but I mean, at least people cared enough to like say something about that,
Yes, yeah.
If everyone's just like no comment, it's probably like just boring.
Yeah, I guess. Although I feel like animated projects like that sometimes just do fall to the wayside. So,
True.
but it is Lord of the Rings, which is bigger than I can even imagine. I guess.
Well, I don't mean any of that. I would not. I would not try to manipulate Dave Filoni into thinking you were a bad person. But I think it's messed up that you want to take away Pablo Hidalgo's job.
Who's
The lore master.
Okay, well, I feel like there's always two.
Okay, as Maul told Savage.
Nice.
And so today we will be talking about the beginnings of season 5 of the Clone Wars,
Whoa.
the last of the original Cartoon Network seasons before it was canceled and revived 2 times.
Oh, this was Cartoon Network?
Yes.
I thought it was Nickelodeon this whole time for some reason.
No.
I have no clue why.
No, dude, this was in their Friday night action block with like Generator Rex and Titan AE and those
Wow, I guess I
the
missed
Secret
it.
Saturdays.
Yeah, I never watched any of those shows, so I could have discovered Star Wars through this series, but the cards didn't line up. Man, there's so many little places I probably could have discovered Star Wars, but just never did.
Just didn't quite roll out that way for you. Yeah, it's been on Cartoon Network, which is kind of interesting because that's a Warner Brothers thing. But I guess Fox and WB have always had a partnership when it comes to cartoons. Because I remember Fox Box being like the Warner Brothers cartoon. I don't know.
When it replays, or if they do show reruns of it, do they do it on Cartoon Network or Disney?
Now I have no idea if it even plays anywhere on like syndication on TV. That's a
Yeah.
good question. Like, do they, since it's just always available on Disney Plus, do they just like never play it on real TV? I imagine they don't have the rights to play it on Cartoon Network anymore, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I just like am imagining Grievous doing the like you're now watching Disney Channel thing with his lightsaber.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
good.
really want to see that.
Star Wars Rebels, the next show, was Disney XD.
Is that about this group that we just met in these episodes here?
No.
Okay,
no.
all
But
right.
not a bad call. Yeah, we're talking about the first 5 episodes of season 5. There's a one-off that was not originally supposed to be the season premiere, and then there's a 4-part Onderon Rebellion arc. Yeah, this season premiere Maul and Savage episode was supposed to be nestled right in the middle of the season. You hear Hondo mention that Grievous came and blew up his whole pirating operation, and you're like, wait, what? When did that happen? Well, we see it later, actually. So I guess they thought we need some juice to like promote the premiere. Got to put Darth Maul in there.
Honestly, good choice. I agree. Because I, frankly, didn't like the little rebel plotline after that much. So if that was like just the opener, especially if the first episode was the opener for season 5.
Yeah, it would be a little, I guess, not anticlimactic because it's the beginning, but
Yeah.
underwhelming.
Deflating,
Oh,
I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
this episode was pretty awesome.
yeah, yes. This is where we're kind of getting into what will Maul's long-term role actually be in this Clone Wars world. He and Savage like don't really know what they're doing, and they kind of
They're stacking credits, dude. That's what they're doing.
exactly. They realize that the Jedi are too powerful for just the 2 of them to take on all the Jedi, you know, and the Sith, and the Separatists. I mean, they're an isolated faction that has enemies everywhere. So they're like, well, what could we do that would like elevate our quest for power in the galaxy? Because Maul has these ambitions. You know, he was promised that he was going to be second in command of the new Sith Empire, right? So he still has these delusions of grandeur that he's this really important guy. Well, what if we turn to the criminal underworld of Star Wars? What if we try our hand there to be criminal masterminds?
How the Sith have fallen when Obi-Wan's just dissing him.
Throwing in with pirates.
Yeah. But it does make sense, but it is also, I think, a good like status dissension for Maul there.
for sure.
But I guess if you look at it the other way, he's sort of like climbing back up from
Yeah,
from
from
falling so high.
being really low.
Yeah.
And also Obi-Wan, you guys throw in with the pirates
Yeah, true.
in like the next couple episodes. But
Yeah, Anakin does be like, oh, my friend Hondo Naka could help.
yeah, we're all buddies
Yeah.
with it. Yeah. Yeah, but I agree. This first episode is quite cool. Essentially, it's just like Maul tries to recruit some of Hondo's guys to his cause, and they're like, "Well, we're going to take over Hondo's whole operation." Why does Obi-Wan get involved here? I forget what caused him to actually.
Yeah, I don't remember if it's just them like, oh, Hondo, he has a phone call. Hondo calls him.
Oh yeah.
And Hondo's like, hey, like, who is this, like, very angry Jedi that's, like...
Oh, yeah,
messing
because
with
they think
me?
they're Jedi. Or they
Yeah.
at least say that at first.
Yeah, then Obi-Wan is like, that's no Jedi,
Mhm.
but a Sith Lord, or something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's really funny, too, when, like, Obi-Wan goes to that planet and he brings... Is it Adi? Is that her name?
Adi Gallia, yeah.
Adi Gallia, who I don't think we'd seen before at all.
We have just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
She's on the council. She was in that one episode with Grievous. I can't remember. There wasn't there one where they were like trying to rescue Eth Koth from Grievous or something.
Yeah, that was her in that, too?
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's my bad maybe for not remembering that. But
No, I mean she's barely been around. So.
I will say I was just like, okay, man, kind of a red shirt Jedi appearing here. So I immediately knew, like, she's not making it out of this episode. Especially, like, if it's Obi-Wan going with someone who isn't, like, Ahsoka or Anakin. It's like, all right, your risk level, very high.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I think it's a cool death in the way that Obi-Wan reacts to it. And Maul is... I think, I get why they put this as the premiere, and I think if we were watching it in real time, this wouldn't matter because we would have had a big break between the finale and this one. The way we're watching it all together, it's a little bit like hitting the same beat again, but
It does feel very like the episode we just watched where, like, Maul calls Obi-Wan out and they have a fight in the middle of, like, a bunch of chaos.
yeah. But I do think they're good at like pushing Obi-Wan's buttons and trying to like make him angry.
And the fight stuff, I will say, I thought was excellent. It was really good. And with that kid Audie dying, her death, like you said, is pretty exciting. I mean, she gets like headbutt horn impaled.
Yeah, actually using the horns.
Which is a
That was
brutal
cool.
one, yeah. And then just like the double tap of the lightsaber on the ground was brutal. But what I particularly liked about it was like the move she does that ends up screwing her over is basically like she's trying to sweep kick Savage off his feet, but he's just too strong, so it has like no effect.
Mhm.
But if you notice, like Obi-Wan tries that move over and over again in their later fight, and he keeps trying it until eventually he does like get some momentum with that shot, and that's when he takes Savage's arm off.
Yeah. I like not every single lightsaber fight is that well thought out, but there are several that are truly like it's not even acknowledged like the storytelling of the fight in a really cool way.
Yeah.
Where it's just like the characters are actually it's not just like random clashing the swords into each other. It's like they are actually like thinking and trying to use processes and then learning from mistakes and trying again and like all this kind of stuff. And it's really satisfying. And then the moment you're talking about is so good. Maul and Savage have him like backed up into this door, and it's like you're totally fucked. And Obi-Wan,
He has her
instead of-
lightsaber too. So
he's like dual wielding.
it is a sick shot where it's like the hexagonal formation of all the lightsabers across the blocking.
And
So
it's
cool.
very oppressive, pardon the pun, but he goes for like a slight variation on the leg sweep he's been trying, and he straight up just like side shots his knee, and I think he just like breaks his knee by like kicking it in the side really hard, which gives him a half second to then cut his arm off and then run away. And it's like, yeah, just a really well directed and edited moment that you feel like some true, and it's a little cartoonified with like green mist coming out of it and everything, but like you see the insides of the arm on the ground for a second and everything. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, like they, and you know, Obi-Wan doesn't like to get brutal, but then you see him like, you know, pushed up against the wall, and it's like, well, he's gonna lash out.
Yeah, he's in very life or death situations here. Just saw Audie get slaughtered too, so it's not like he doesn't know. I mean, it's Maul too. He knows the stakes. Killed his old master, so. But there's also a really awesome shot, like when they are. Well, actually, let me first say I also loved that. Like, where were they when they had that fight? Was it in like just one of the buildings, or was that a ship?
It was in like Hondo's pirate tunnels.
Okay, yeah. I liked that, like, they retreat, like, Hondo and Obi-Wan retreated into those tunnels, and they were, like, still forming a plan on what to do next when Savage and Maul, like, break in and hot on their tail, like, follow it, and it just continues. And I honestly was not expecting that. I feel like we often see in, like, these episodes, like, okay, like, we got away from the immediate threat, so they're not a threat anymore, and we can, like, think what to do next, but this just, like, kept going, which is great.
Totally. Yeah, there is that real like narrative-y thing in most of the episodes about like, well, that part is over and we're away and we're safe here, and then we will go back to like fighting them again later.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. It's cool whenever they kind of disrupt that like built-in safety that you feel as a viewer in those kind of moments.
Yeah.
Well, nothing's going to happen right now, but it does.
There's also a very cool shot in there when like Obi-Wan has both the lightsabers, where it's kind of like a spinning shot that comes in from low, and it's just like tracking as he's fighting them both, and just like there's some great Obi-Wan little lightsaber maneuvers in this episode.
Totally. I like Maul and Savage's escape as well. Like they kind of all exit the caves at the same time and without really realizing it. Like Maul and Savage come out, and then all the pirates come out, and there's like a beat where they're like, oh, and they look at each other, and then they start open firing on them while they're running, and like pretty exciting sequence of like Maul pulling the ship off of the cliff to like stop them from chasing them and everything. Like just fun stuff.
When does he lose his leg there?
Oh yeah.
When did he get it shot off, or what happened? I don't remember. I just remember them like it's like kind of funny imagery later because Savage is missing his arm, and then Maul's missing a leg, so they're just like hopping on out of there.
Yeah, they're helping. I think he does lose his leg during that like running away outside part. I forget exactly how. I probably just got shot by a Hondo or something.
That's what I was thinking it was, but I couldn't remember if maybe like a ship part like crushed it or something.
Yeah, maybe even like a big like rocket launcher thing or something. But
pretty funny to see them running away like that too, though, I will say.
But I feel like, you know, we see a lot of running away in Clone Wars. I mean, the villains and the heroes are constantly just running away whenever, you know, stuff is going badly for them. But it all feels very like earned in this one, where it's like, okay, we came here, we tried to do something, we failed, now we're outnumbered and a little bit beaten up. We got to get out of here. Like,
yeah, I like that they're truly like, no, we do have to run away. Like we are not going to stay and fight this. Like, yeah, it's like it might be Darth Maul, but it's still like a whole army of pirates shooting basically.
Right. So. And Obi-Wan's still around too.
Yeah, true. I guess he does come like chasing after pretty immediately.
Yeah, it's a good one though. And so I guess, yeah, it just kind of plants the seeds of this is what Maul and Savage are going to try to do now, is throw in with different criminal organizations, see if they can kind of start their own thing going on there. And
oh, yeah, man. Maul and Aura Singh next?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Maul meeting young Boba? I'm the boss, Maul, okay?
Oh, yeah. Now, what would you say to me if I was choking you?
Gosh, I feel like Savage could like very comically squash Boba into like a basketball.
Yeah. Hey. He might say "hey" before he did it.
Yeah, sort of like it's like a Kool-Aid man. Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
is that what he says? What is he? What does he say?
Hey, hey, hey. Or
Say
what?
it.
No, that's Fat Albert. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he says. Oh, boy. I'm speed running Alzheimer's. Well, we anything else about that one?
No, just pretty cool episode.
Totally exciting. Rest in peace, Audi Gallia. We hardly knew you.
Gosh, yeah. I will say also, just gonna throw it out there. I hope Maul gets his legs blown off, both of them, and they just put regular legs back on him because I think those were cool for a little bit, but I don't know. I get tired of that design.
The chicken claw thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. But he's got to build some kind of new leg now.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that that's the last time we see them.
Ooh, maybe like a lightsaber peg leg.
It would just like burn through the ground.
True, you'd always be off or off.
Yeah, I'm trying. I keep like having these flashes of things where like, oh yeah, and this. Nope, that was from the Maul Shadow Lord show.
Oh yeah, that must be. I think because I saw the trailer for that show, and I know there's like, oh, it's the beginning shot of this episode where like Maul and Savage are taking out some droids. There's a clip from the trailer of the Darth Maul show that looks exactly the same, like him in some space like that, killing a droid or just like posing, doing his little Darth Maul aura pose.
That was a cool little cold open of this episode, though. Like, I like those droids. Like, they were like, all right, sweep the area. I want a full visual on all the corners and stuff. It was like a little bit of like a special forces team coming in to take out a dangerous target or what. Like that was a cool vibe. And then to see them just all get brutalized and stuff, like
there was one droid too, like very human movement, which I guess like now that I'm thinking about it, I guess the droids are kind of like pretty easy 3D models because they're just like the skeleton of a human. But
yeah, it's like I guess that's what most 3D models are at first, and then you put the flesh on top of them.
But one like fell back. It's like when Maul first turns the corner. One like you see it falling backwards first, hitting the floor. Then Maul just like putting his lightsaber on its head. Like pretty cool.
Maul is he's living up to his scary reputation so far, I would say.
Yeah, but I want more.
Well, we get more.
Anakin needs to show up here for Obi-Wan.
Yeah, for real. I don't know why they don't bring more people every time.
He's got Savage with him every time. It's like, bro, bring your bro.
Dude, they have Audi Gallia.
Yeah, who can't even sweep a leg.
Yeah, well, she's small, Well, then try a different tactic, Audi.
Use the Force with it? I don't know.
Yeah, for real. I don't know.
Can you do that? Like, propel the thrust of your body's motion with the Force? Or would that just, like, shatter your bones, too, I guess?
No, I don't know. I mean, you can force jump and force speed, but that feels more like pushing the world around you than...
Can I force, like, punch? Like, air punch?
Dude, I would love to see some, like, well, I'll be quiet, actually. I was going to say, I would love to see some, like, force kung fu stuff, but... we don't really ever see that in the way that I would like to see it. But
yeah. You want like them to send the air like rippling and their opponent like their face just peels off.
Ooh, yeah. Yes, sir. No. Yeah, I'm promoting you from lore master to assistant writer.
Whoa, okay. All right. I'll just do little pitches like that where it's like kind of just little moments that I don't know where to put.
But it's very cool, and it's something hey.
Like lightsaber peg leg.
yeah. He just needs the floors to be like whatever that material is.
Would it be other kyber crystal? Like if you made hardened...
There's some material I forget the name of. from something that's resistant to lightsabers.
Oh, is the Mandalorian metal resistant?
Yeah, Beskar.
Yeah, is it?
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I forget. They're always coming up with a new thing that works against something and whatever else.
I guess if you had like a lore master,
right.
it'd be really helpful.
All right, let me call Pablo. I keep accidentally taking screenshots on my damn new phone.
Oh, had to drop the new phone there.
Well, it's not that new. It's just that it's new to me, and I'm not used to all these extra buttons on the side.
Yeah, I see you put a case on it too.
I did. My old phone was so old, I was like, well, if it breaks, I don't really care.
What model's that?
This is the 17 regular.
Okay.
You've got the Pro.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I do have the 17 Pro.
Your special little chip in there.
Well, there's one above it too, even like Pro Max, right?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
I thought so. This is not. I could have gone bigger. There was like a bigger version of this.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Dude, we both have comic book backgrounds.
That one's cool. Okay, so the Onderon arc. This is 4 episodes, probably a little too long.
Yeah, more like snore episodes. Let's go.
Okay, sorry, I had my eyes closed. I didn't see you going for a high five.
Yeah,
That's about to be our most viral clip.
I think so.
Or
were you sleeping or something? Eyes closed.
No, I was just like thinking for a moment. You said you didn't really like these.
No, I didn't. I guess like I can see potential with like maybe Saw, as like a cool character in the future, but didn't even really think he was that cool in these episodes.
No. This is the introduction of Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, and he was like the standout for me in these. The one that aside like characters who will live on.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like he's much more famous than most original Star Wars characters because he does appear in live action eventually.
Oh,
and,
really?
They really kind of try to put him in a ton of stuff, and I personally never find him interesting. But I'll be curious how your perception of him changes as we go on.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got this. Essentially, the crux of these episodes is about Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Anakin come in to train this rebel cell on Onderon that is trying to overthrow a separatist regime on their planet. They have deposed the rightful king and put this guy Sanjay Raz.
Started with an R. Yeah, they're like King Raja or something.
Rash. Maybe it's just Rash.
Ramses?
Rash, yeah. Sanjay Rash or Rosh. And then Ramses Dendup is the old king.
Right.
I agree that these are a little slow, a little boring. The characters don't stick out too much, but there are some pretty interesting philosophical questions that they are playing with here, because the Jedi, it's a little wishy-washy on like what they are okay with, I guess. There's all this rhetoric of like, well, we can't go in with the clones or with a full army because we're not allowed to just invade somewhere, which is like, well, I think I've seen you do that a lot of times before, actually. But I guess this is like a big civilian population. They're not trying to...
they're more civilized. They're not like an indigenous population to the Jedi.
Right, so they matter a little bit more. Yeah, they have economic value on a galactic level.
I wasn't thinking about it that way, but it kind of makes it look that way if you
seriously
take a look at the past incidents.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't thinking about that until you said that either, but I think that's probably part of it. But they they're like, well, what if we didn't actually get directly involved in any fighting? We just trained the rebels how to fight. And then there's this whole thing of like, well, they're terrorists. Well, no, we're going to train them to go after ways that'll minimize civilian casualties and stuff like that. And it is very much like just making me think about like the CIA and like
Sure.
Mossad and stuff like that is sent into other countries with like 3 or 4 agents that are there to train undisciplined rebel forces into more organized militaristic groups that can then topple governments and then at the last second pull out and say, actually, we're not going to support you at all. We're just going to completely destabilize your whole country.
Yeah, like terrible non-interference policy from the Jedi here that it's just like doesn't work. And also, I guess to pair it off real life, it's like everyone knows you were involved by the end of it, Jedi.
Right,
So like,
right.
why it's like a weird little fool's errand that they run to do all this when they could just actually be like helping. And also, I mean, if the Separatists already deposed like the previous king there, like can't you just kind of free reign to go in now?
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. I guess within the episode, they try to justify it as to like, well, we're not trying to like start war on a planet that doesn't have it, but it's like, well, there kind of is a war
It's like
going on.
droid occupied at that point because it got taken over.
Yeah, exactly.
So just a weird like, I don't know. I can't get over that little hurdle of like, well, why are you guys? Wouldn't you apply that principle everywhere then, and then just never help any planets and just let the Separatists take them each time? Or is it only when you start to see them like impacting their economy that you're like, okay, now we can like.
We can't just like destroy the city.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for real. I'm curious about that, but I do think that at least to a degree that is intentional of the yuckiness and like, wait, why is this one we're not okay with just coming in guns blazing and we have to be all careful about. And there's the whole other thing of like the peacekeeping, like the Jedi are peacekeepers, not warriors. Well, or not, military leaders or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I think is really interesting in terms of Ahsoka's character in particular, because Obi-Wan and Anakin, after a little bit, just leave Ahsoka to be in charge of this whole thing by herself. And on one hand, it's like, okay, they trust Ahsoka. They are referring to her as commander in this as well. So apparently now she has a real military title, like Captain Rex is calling her Commander Tano and stuff like that. So
when is she no longer a Padawan? Sorry to throw off the train of thought, but
I don't actually know.
like, is there a ceremony or anything, like a graduation?
There is like a knighting ceremony for sure, but they don't show that for her. And I think it's happened already.
Okay, all right.
But I could be wrong about
So
that.
she's still considered just a Padawan because she was Anakin's Padawan, or is that just like a term of endearment now in a sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's in the way that like Obi-Wan would still call Anakin his Padawan, but
sure.
he's not a Padawan
Gotcha.
anymore. But so we've talked a lot before about how like Ahsoka at the beginning was this very like idealistic, like the Jedi dogma is my belief system.
Mm-hmm.
And as things have gone on, she has been pulling all of the seemingly good pieces from all of her different influences. And she's a very, just like a good person overall, and has interest in like helping people is really what she cares about. And during this whole thing, she's like, well, what do you mean like we can't be a part of the fighting? Like they already know that we're here. Like
Yeah.
and then she,
Which Anakin says too, also. And Obi-Wan's even like, well, I know, but we have to do it this way.
and then she does it, and then they talk again, and he's like, okay, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So the rules of it are very weird.
And then she's like, later on when they bring in like the big reinforcements, the separatists, she's like, please, like, we need help. We need you to send someone. Like, we can't do anything over here. And they're like, well, we can't really do much.
But we can contact our illegal arms dealers to supply you guys with rocket launchers. Like, it's all too real. Like,
Yeah.
too parallel to stuff that happens in real life all the time, except in real life it's way more gross and complicated. Because in this, we at least have the benefit of, like, well, we actually know that, like, there are bad guys and good guys.
Yeah.
And we want the good guys to beat the bad guys. And in real life, that's, like, never really the case. But it's still using all of these tactics that do happen in real life all the time.
I guess, like, to me, my main issue with this storyline, I can sort of pinpoint it to one moment. And like, so throughout the episodes, I think like the premise is a little messy. Like, the Jedi are kind of like dumb and bad in it, but we get that moment when Saw is going to break out the imprisoned king. What's his name? Dieter or something.
I got it right here. I also can't remember.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, it is. Dendup. Ramses Dendup.
Dendup. Well, because he starts talking about, like, well, I was put in a position where I had to choose, like, the Republic or the Separatists, but both are corrupt. So, like, what was I supposed to do? I was forced to choose, like, one corrupt side or the other, and I didn't choose, and that's how I ended up here. And then Saw mentions, like, well, we're with the Republic, basically, because, like, we're with the Jedi who are helping. And the king goes, oh, Jedi? And I thought he was going to say, like, this exemplifies my point even further. See, like, the corrupt Jedi Council's involved here, too. But he just goes, like, that's what I've been waiting to hear. And then they like, mosey on and try to escape together. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. Like, that was the moment of this arc to be like, don't you see, like, you're just, like, aligning with another corrupt group that's still going to take over and, like...
Yeah, like, the Jedi like to pretend that they're separate from the Republic and they're all virtuous and everything, but at the end of the day, they're still beholden to the whim of the corrupt government that you did not want to be a part of.
Yeah, like, in a sense, they're literally puppeteering you, Saw.
Yeah.
They put you here, face-to-face with me, in danger. Like...
And we, you know... The Jedi are, at least these Jedi at this time, are good guys. So,
yeah.
like, we know that they have the right intentions. But I totally agree with you. Like, yeah, I guess, like, there's a desire that, like, oh, well, yes, the Jedi are on the side of the Republic, but, like, we know the Jedi to be virtuous and upstanding, and they will, you know, do what's right, even in
Sure.
spite of the Republic.
I guess it's funny from our perspective because, like, I could see how, like, you know, your average space person might think that, but the way that we've seen it play out is kind of the Republic runs the Jedi Council, not the other way around.
Right.
Like, their influence on it outweighs the influence the Jedi Council has on, like, the Republic and the Senate.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And they are constantly having to be like, well, I'm going to do this thing without permission.
Yeah.
And go behind someone's back to, like, do the right thing because the government won't let me do it.
Which I guess maybe is not, like, common government knowledge of how, like, under the boot of the Republic the Jedi are, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're clearly on the same side. They're generals of their army and stuff. So,
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah. I mean, what I guess what I like about the episode, and it's hard to know to what degree of intentionality the messiness of it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that it can simultaneously justify why, when Palpatine does make his big turn and say, hey, the Jedi are all evil, like, it's a corrupt organization and they're very dangerous and they need to be eliminated because they have so much unchecked power and all this. I could totally see after this sequence of episodes a large population of people agreeing with that. And at the same time, I could see a large population of people being like, no, they helped. They liberated my city and they, they took down evil and whatever. So
Yeah.
I kind of like that but they're the one thing that they do here justifies like both arguments depending on how involved you were with it, what your perspective is on things. Like,
Yeah, I guess that is like something important to be like padding throughout the Clone Wars as they can, just to like make that have more of an impact. But now that I think about it, I guess my main issue is sort of just with that King character that they end up rescuing, because even after like in the episode following that, which I think is the last of the episodes, he gives like a speech to his people through like hologram or something, where he even talks about like these so-called terrorists, like they're the only ones like fighting, and he like gives a speech rallying them up again, which I don't know. There is interesting stuff to this episode about like, well, what is terrorism with like within a nation's own like civil issues,
Right.
So
I mean, they blow up the main power grid of the city,
yeah,
and yes, it's because they want to eliminate like the power of all the droids and machinery there. But you know, we it's just too much stuff like this is like happening in real life, like on the news currently, that it's like, yeah, well, if the power station gets bombed, then all these like hospitals lose their power, and many innocent people will die because of what you're doing.
to be fair though, Steela, she said to the people, she's like, we don't want to hurt you, don't worry. So
Well,
she
right.
announced it to everyone.
And the Jedi, you know, they do try to make it be like, hey, like we are making methods that will only hurt droids and not, you know, hurt the people. But there are a few moments where it's like, well, if the droids wanted to, they could just start open firing on this crowd of civilians, and
Yeah.
they don't. But like when you guys rescue the king from the execution, and you just pull him into the crowd to obfuscate him from the like, whoa, that seems like a little
True.
dangerous, guys. Like,
Yeah.
what's stopping them from just being like, okay, fuck it, like let's just open fire, these are all protesters. So
You know what? I absolutely like hated this line from Obi-Wan, but I understand like where he's coming from to a degree. But he was like with the king, because it made me think like, yeah, they're gonna take down a bunch of like people just to save the king. Like they're gonna use him as a meat shield in that scenario.
mhm.
But Obi-Wan says something in these episodes like, you underestimate like the power of a king. Like it's not just one person. Like he like means more. He's like the spirit and enthusiasm of the people.
Yeah.
God, I like hate the Jedi like constantly putting so much, and I know this is me like mixing real world stuff in it, but like putting so much on like the government system of monarchies is crazy.
Yeah, totally. I guess, yeah, and that's complicated too because of all the politics of Anakin and you know, hate. I guess it comes down to everyone says like, oh, I hate dictators, I hate monarchs, until it's the one that actually I agree with this one.
Yeah.
Now I like them,
Yeah,
even if
well.
other people don't.
Well, I guess Star Wars has shown us where, democratic freedom and voting gets you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, may as well go this route, I guess,
Totally.
and just have like a good king and a bad king constantly sort of be swapping. That's probably good for like the longevity of your civilization.
Well, it nurtures social progress, and it, you know, we're not just constantly out here scrapping for survival, being placated by, you know, drugs and entertainment.
Yeah.
We are able to like think critically about our surroundings and make social change.
Yeah. So you think like the Toydarian civilization, which by the way, when are we checking back in?
Have been completely destabilized.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've probably been really struggling,
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
It's like the Purge planet over there right now. Toydarians slaughtering each other, ripping off the wings of each other.
Okay, a little spin-off show.
I'm pitching because I know you got a new job.
Hey, promotion. Yeah, you want to be a creative director of a new show?
I kind of like a Marvel Zombies, but with Star Wars.
Yeah, but it's only Toydarian. So yeah, you're not allowed to bring any other characters into it.
Yeah, totally.
Watto could show up.
So this would be, would that be before or after? I guess it'd be after Phantom Menace, obviously. So what happens? What happens to Watto?
He's in Attack of the Clones for like 2 seconds.
Do we see him again?
Not really. There is a comic that I forget if it's like a Elseworlds thing or not, but there's one where like Darth Vader comes back and like fucks him up. But
That's pretty awesome. Honestly, really funny idea. Whoever thought of that?
I can't remember if that's like in the context of the comic, like, yes, this really happened, or it was like some vision or something. I can't remember, but I know I've seen the image of like comic book art of Darth Vader killing Watto.
Going like,
Yeah.
no.
Little Annie. Oh no. Yeah. Well, other things that I like about this. I like the droid general that they send in. I think his visual design is pretty intimidating to me. I like the new gunships that they bring out.
Yeah.
That require the rebels to then get the rocket launchers. Those gunships are brutal, and like we do see them just like open firing on like large amounts of people. And I don't know, like it's not like I'm cheering on, but like it's good to me when you establish the threat as actually dangerous and actually scary.
Yeah,
Like-
we see some of those like bird flying things they have get like super singed in some of
Mhm.
these shots too, which
Yeah.
is like sad to see.
Totally. And I kind of like the whole like defense of their little rebel hideout out in the mountains.
Yeah.
There's like cool action, like cool directed action when they stop the execution of the king. They throw these smoke bombs up there, like we talked about before. They got the spinning going
Yeah.
on, but there is, like you were talking about with the Obi-Wan one, just a nice like low angle rotating camera shot of each like main member of the rebellion, kind of highlighting their thing that they're good at, taking out a droid or two
Yeah.
to then rescue the king there. I mean, a nice exciting visual moment, at least.
I do agree. There's like definitely some cool stuff in here, and I will say the episodes, they're like, so the 4 of them, each one was better than the last. I thought.
Yes.
And the 4th, like the action of the 4th, I thought was like pretty exciting, on par with some of the other episodes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool to see a different large scale group of people fighting against droids, and seeing the droids. It's not like we've never seen them kill people, but like usually they're killing clones who, I like the clones. It's sad to see clones die, but they still have like helmets on, and there's a little bit of dehumanization to them. These are just like civilians that were rallied into joining the militia and stuff, like,
Yeah.
so there's a little extra level of brutality to it there that I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah, we talked about it before. Like, anytime you see the droids, outside facing a Jedi or the clones and just like kind of going against normal folks, it reminds you of how kind of scary they would be actually,
Totally. And I thought of you saying that while watching these, because yeah, you have brought that up before, and I think you're totally correct. And in the moment I was thinking that, I was like, oh wow, like seeing the droids kind of just patrol the streets with guns and stuff while people try to go about their day-to-day lives is kind of scary.
Yeah.
And then right as I was having that thought was when one of them like put a giant fruit over the head
Like
of
the
one
durian?
of them. And I was like, okay, well, actually, maybe they're not so scary.
No, okay, wait, but that took a lot of courage to do. So
Yeah,
think
true.
about it. That man, that was just a regular. That's the real hero of Star Wars right there.
Yeah.
That guy.
The giant durian salesman.
Yeah.
Great Star Wars trivia poll that I don't know the answer to off the top of my head. Can you remember the names of those purple fruits that C-3PO and R2-D2 were sent to go
Oh.
put on top of the cake?
Oh my goodness, no, that
I don't know the answer to this, so
not at all. I remember the tube he has them in and everything, but I can't. And it's
Little
it's for
tennis ball
cake, right?
tube.
Yeah.
Yes. It's for because the one guy really likes the fruits, and if he doesn't have them, then whatever this party Padme's throwing is not going to be good.
Wow, like the spectrum of like political focus in Clone Wars is crazy. Like
Yeah.
I think that is an episode versus like the episode that we just watched.
Yeah, totally. But honestly, that is like one reason why I absolutely love the show. Like, yes, the C3PO R2D2 episode of getting fruit is never gonna make my like top 20 episodes,
Sure.
but it's interesting in the yucky way where we see like this is the level that like certain people are playing on, where the stakes are, is this senator going to be mad that his favorite cake isn't done the way he wants, then trickle down all the way to like we're like torturing civilians
Yeah.
to occupy their city and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know, it's all connected.
Yeah, true. And it could be because that guy didn't get the cake he wanted. You know,
Exactly.
one little ripple effect.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, not even joking.
Yeah.
Like, that is how things happen in real life. Did you see One Battle After Another?
Yeah. Mhm.
There's some issues I have with that movie, but something that it captured that I thought was really cool. I mean, Sean Penn's character in general is really cool, I think.
Mhm.
Like a good guy that I like is
Yeah.
what I mean by that. No, really interesting, because it shows you how these people in very powerful decision-making positions that can have like life and death ramifications for large groups of people make those decisions based on, I was my sexual advances were denied by someone, or I have a weird like racist fetish or something like that. Like
Yeah.
little things like, or like I was humiliated,
Yeah. That just snowball into like completely larger issues.
to like dropping a bomb on someone. Like,
Yeah.
that's real. Like,
Yeah.
so that was something in that movie that I thought they captured really well, was that like it's just like the personal insecurities of people in power have like actual ramifications on like the lives of many.
Yeah, I will say that is like a story type that I just like have found myself really enjoying. Like someone who, I don't know, you let like a little issue from your past just fester and fester until it becomes something so uncontrollable and like life consuming at a later point. Like that's
Yeah.
always really fascinating to me.
Totally. I love that kind of story. I love the kind of story of like a guy who has, on the other side of that, been like pushed by the system so much or whatever that he's now like existing in a past the breaking point world.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
It's kind of like how you see yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, life has not been kind to me.
You're gonna do something about it.
Yeah, have you seen my ball peen hammer that I have over there?
No.
No, I don't. I don't have
God.
that.
Can I see it?
I don't have one.
I'd like to.
I'm just joking. I don't have one. I do have a hammer. I do have a hammer.
Okay. Well, I actually don't want to see it. Change my mind.
Uh.
I don't want to see your hammer. Change my mind.
Well, it's
God, man, what's Steven Crowder up to nowadays?
yeah, for real.
Wow.
We should do that. We should try to go to campuses with our big signs and just try and stir up some discourse.
Yeah, true. We could do it Star Wars though. You know,
Mhm.
just well,
Palpatine was correct about everything. Changed my mind.
yeah. I was trying to think of like some hot takes you could have in the Star Wars universe, but then I remembered like Star Wars exists in the context of our real reality, so there is actual like politics that people discuss to it. You know,
Yeah.
they're kind of stupid in the like identity aspect of the series.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I guess we're talking about.
I mean it in a different sense.
No,
I-
absolutely. Yes, yeah. I find it interesting though, the parallels to real life, especially you know, they're never one-to-one things, and I'm not trying to map like this character onto this real life individual or anything, but the processes are not exactly the same, but you see like these things that are very yucky in real life, at least in Clone Wars specifically, sort of sanitized to like a black and white um, level, but then they're really not actually. Like they are always like 1 or 2 degrees more messy and complicated than I'm expecting from you know, a kid's cartoon.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have been surprised throughout this entire show. Like, I guess like I was expecting to see the Jedi. I know they're like a little more like complicated, but I feel like the show consistently hits the nail of like, hey, they're like pretty corrupt and bad too. Like, or
Yeah.
they're like crossing a line here, and they're just kind of gonna get away with it because they are like have the power and
Yeah.
they kind of run the
What
system.
are you gonna do about it?
And it
Yeah.
very often the episodes like and I do think it's intentional, and like obviously the episodes are still super enjoyable, so it's not a critique, but it'll be like, oh yeah, kind of a bad taste of like the Jedi Council in my mouth leaving that episode. And we just get that over and over again, and it's kind of funny. I feel like there's not catharsis for that, so you're just kind of left the whole series like, man, it's crazy. I love these characters, but like they've attached themselves to something awful, so I just have
Yeah.
to watch them spiral down.
Totally. I mean, and yeah, we kind of in the movies jump from the beginning of it to the end of it with Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, but
This is the slow Band-Aid peel.
yeah, for real. Did that stop this recording?
This is the slow Band-Aid peel.
No.
I'll redo that so you can just like cut it back in.
Okay, thank you.
I don't want them to miss that.
No, that was cool.
Thank you.
Let's see. I'm sure there's some more in this episode. We haven't really talked about Stila at all. Rest in peace. You were talking about how Adi Gallia is someone very early on signaled to die.
Yeah.
To me, that was her for this, especially knowing that Saw Gerrera is in a bunch of other stuff. It's like, well, somebody's gonna die, and
Yeah.
the fact that Lux Monteri is like developing a relationship with her and stuff. It's like she's gonna die.
Actually, a pretty cruel act from the writers to that character is always losing the people he loves.
Totally. He has a fucked up life, and it is honestly kind of interesting that it goes a little unspoken, but I think it's probably because of Ahsoka's influence on him that he hasn't gone the dark route. Well, I guess he did try to go the dark route initially by hiring Death Watch to like
True.
kill Count Dooku and stuff.
I was gonna say though, he actually I think quite literally says in the episode like Ahsoka makes a point towards the end of these episodes of like, man, what are we doing? Like, we lost Stila, so we won at the end of the day, but like at what cost? And he's like, oh, you sound like I used to sound before like you sort of switched my perspective on things.
Mm-hmm.
And so he like the way he is because of Ahsoka's influence, and he wouldn't be doing what he's doing if it wasn't for Ahsoka. So,
and if anything, now they have kind of met and then gone past each other in terms of ideologies, because when they first met, Ahsoka was very much like, no, the Republic is good and correct and the Separatists are bad.
yeah.
And now she's much more mature. She's much more questioning of the Jedi Council and the Republic in general. And by the end of this, he is like, and I pledge myself to be the senator for the Republic.
That's right, yeah.
And now I'm going to join the government system that I was opposed to before. And Ahsoka, doesn't really react to that in this episode, but I imagine would be a little bit like, well, no, that's not necessarily what I
That
I
is
don't know.
pretty
I don't know.
interesting, though. Like, man, I guess a lot of these episodes are like, they will give you a morsel of something that could be huge, like a show in and of itself,
Mm-hmm.
basically, and then move on, which is kind of like an interesting tactic that always leaves me wanting a little bit more and getting like excited about these characters. But I do just think like, how someone falls into, I don't even want to say propaganda, because that's not really what Ahsoka was trying to do when she, had her passion about.
But she certainly at that point was influenced by propaganda and was just kind of
True, I guess it's just like
regurgitating
how it
that.
passes on.
Yeah. But then, even
Plus,
then, she
yeah.
still has good morals and good values and is presenting the best idealized version of these things. So if that's his kind of main contact point to the Republic, and she's talking about it in this way, and he also is like attracted to her and stuff, probably all these things make it be like, yeah, the Republic is pretty appealing, actually.
And this is maybe less of a factor for him, but it would certainly be if I was in his shoes. Like, she's powerful and the Jedi are powerful. And I feel like it's like a power that, I guess, like in the real world, you can kind of map it and be like, well, yeah, like a government system has power behind its like massive, insane military force. But like, in universe, there, it's like, man, the folks who have aligned themselves with this cause are like the all powerful Jedi, like
Yeah.
the legend fabled Jedi. Like,
True.
so I don't know. I guess I don't know the cultural like deepness of how far Jedi lore runs in like the zeitgeist, but
I think for a lot of people, it's pretty deep.
yeah,
Uh,
I feel like that would have like the mythology of it would have a big effect on me. Is what I'm trying to say.
yeah. I think you're right. It's like what happens in real life, I guess, when the governments are tied to like a religion, essentially. Which the Jedi are cooler than any real religion, I think.
I agree. If the Force was a real religion, I'd sign up. Seems pretty chill.
But it's real. In Star Wars,
Oh.
like there's
Yeah.
no debate. on it.
Sure.
I guess Han Solo at first is like, never seen any evidence of any Force. So maybe some people don't believe in it, but it is undeniably real.
Which is funny. That's like one of those lines that you obviously, wasn't written with the intent of like the Clone Wars was going to exist or all this Star Wars like IP content was going to exist. But I'm sure there's like younger Han stuff, and it's like, what, this dude never encountered a Force user before, or like the Force at all in his life.
Maybe.
He was bounty hunting with Chewbacca.
Yeah, you're right. But
He should know about Force users.
he was really young during the Clone Wars, but he was alive during them.
Okay, yeah, even then.
So yeah, I mean, he knows about the Jedi and stuff.
The
but
Jedi.
I think he knows that they have like magic powers, but I don't think he believes that it's like a
A connecting unifying.
universe controlling force
Sure.
type thing.
I guess, at the end of the day, who's to say the Force isn't just God?
Facts.
All glory to God.
Mm-hmm. It's he's allowing you to lift up your toothbrush without having to use your hands.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like a podcast that focuses on Star Wars, but like from a Christian perspective and like
There are
analyzes
definitely-
it based off that.
Books like that.
Interesting.
I remember being in church when I was a kid, and the priest, we had like a new, younger, kind of coolish priest.
Star Wars priest.
And he liked like Harry Potter and Star Wars and stuff. And he was like, oh yes, I'm planning a series of classes about like watching Star Wars through the, theology lens and everything. And, I was like probably like 11 or 12, and it was right at the time where I was like, yeah, I'm like actually really done with church.
Sure. Yeah.
So I was like, that almost kind of makes me, no, I actually don't care.
Seems like it. I mean, I guess there are a lot of like religious motifs that do pop up in all Star Wars content, but seems like it'd be really hard to like look at it specifically through a Christian lens and like extrapolate that messaging from it. But I don't know. I guess I'm not super religious, so not my forte.
I think it would just be
About like being
a
good.
slightly uninteresting exercise in just like identifying influences. Being like, oh, yeah, well, that kind of thing is
Yeah.
from the Bible or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, okay, cool.
Mm. So Palpatine's kind of like your friends who were telling you to do drugs.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe don't listen to Palpatine.
Uh-huh.
And Padme's your girlfriend who wants you to just stop doing drugs. It's like the one bad thing I can think of. What other sins are there?
Stealing.
Stop stealing drugs.
You're stealing so you can buy drugs.
Just steal the drugs.
Yeah, cut out the middleman, right?
Yeah. If you're gonna do a sin, just do one, don't do two.
exactly.
Is doing drugs a sin? Probably not.
It is.
It is, really?
No, I don't know.
I mean, the church, I'm sure, would say, but like, did Moses carve that into
Right.
it?
It's definitely not in the Ten Commandments to don't do drugs, but sins a little nebulous.
Sure, I guess. And also, mortal sins, is that like just in Catholicism or is that in Christianity too?
I've heard that phrase, but I don't really know what it is.
Yeah, I guess I don't know too well either. Just like the fact I always remember from like Faust is like something in that play. Oh, at the end of that play, like he's forgiven, and God's like, okay, the only thing like you did actually though that was really bad was the mortal sin of like bringing someone back from the dead, which was Helen of Troy, and so he doesn't go to heaven. And God's like, yeah, that was a mortal sin. And I was like, oh, that's funny. That mortal sin is no longer like one of the ones considered a mortal sin. But I now don't even remember what the other mortal sins are aside from just like murder. No, that's
Yeah,
one.
I guess it would make sense phonetically that it's like stuff that has to do with unnaturally ending or creating life,
Maybe, yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know. Only I'm allowed to do that, says God.
Yeah, really.
Uh,
What a jerk. Dude, can we just clear the air and just drop our beef with God?
yeah. Let's just squash it. We're cool. We're cool, God. We're cool with you. We got no issues with you.
You don't mess with me, I won't mess with you.
For real.
That's sort of my perspective on God.
One last little thing about this. I do really like, so the whole time the Sanjay Rash King is just kind of getting more and more panicked over the course of the episodes of like, well, this is actually now causing me problems. It's not just like a little tiny group of people causing trouble. So, they send in reinforcements, blah, blah, blah. Then the reinforcements still don't work. And Dooku, instead of coming himself or sending more reinforcements or sending a larger scale army or whatever, cuts his losses completely with the planet and decides at the end, this actually isn't worth it. Hey, droid general, regroup all the still functional forces and pull out. And that was really cool, I thought, because Rash stands up and is like, hey, wait a minute, you, and then he just executes him right there. And the way that was shot and like this overhead angle kind of like going out, and like Star Wars is full of these moments where someone thinks that they're in control of a situation, and then at the last second it's like, oh, I actually never had any power at all. Everyone was kind of just tricking me, and they were going to dispose of me when I wasn't useful anymore, and then they just kill you.
Yeah, kind of interesting. I feel like usually when we have something like that in the episode, we'll focus a little bit more on that character, or they'll be like a little more central to the plot. But he felt like very tertiary, like kind of just. But it is a good like ending for him, I guess. I just feel like it would have been a little more satisfying if I saw him be a little more evil in the episodes. But he didn't even seem that evil, to be honest.
No, which I don't disagree that they maybe should like give him a little more characterization, but I do kind of think that that's interesting too, that he's not necessarily like evil. He just found himself in this position, and he's a bad guy because he likes to he's definitely reveling in his power and everything, and aligning with the wrong people and stuff, but I don't know. I think it's kind of like, yeah, like even a not necessarily evil person is probably going to say yes when they're in that position, and they don't want to lose the power that they've gotten.
Yeah, I wonder what his status was before he was like offered that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I do think there was something interesting there with him, like not killing the previous king and just like imprisoning him.
Yeah, right.
So if they like extended on that a little bit even, and maybe even made it like a sad death at the end, like, oh, like he was like kind of I don't know, they could have worked together towards some goal or something, and then they leave him in the dust like that.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's sad, but I do think it's a little tragic in the way of like, well, he's just an idiot who his life was meaningless to pretty much everyone except for himself. And yep, we'll just kill him and move on because this planet actually, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter.
Man, dude, has anyone tried to calculate? I know it's like theoretically impossible, but the kill count of the Clone Wars, it's got to be insane.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
yeah.
I guess it's hard for us to like compare to our wars too, because it's like a galactic war, which would
Well,
come
I
with
mean,
many more souls. But
Got to be pushing the trillion mark at
yeah,
this point.
jeez.
Also, Lux Monteri, you're only going to get to be a senator for a year at most, by the way, buddy, because Clone Wars is wrapping up pretty quickly here, and
But he can do a lot in that year.
they talk all the time about how nothing gets done in the Senate, and it's just constant bickering and back and forth.
He seemed pretty passionate. I don't know.
You're right.
Maybe he can make a difference.
Him and Padme together.
Wow. Together?
Oh, you did remind me of something I really liked in this episode. When Ahsoka, they never really like have a full-on conversation, Anakin and Ahsoka, about,
Oh.
hey, actually, you need to not let your feelings like get in the way here and blah blah blah. But Anakin's definitely noticing that Ahsoka has feelings for Lux
Mhm.
and whatever. And I really like the moment where Anakin's like, "Hey, you need to focus," and she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Don't let your feelings like get in the way." And by the way, I know what you're going through. And she's like, "You do?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yes, I do."
But she
Um,
knows he does. I don't know why she asked it like that.
Well, I think,
She knows. Come on.
yeah,
There's no way that you could say she is unaware of the relationship with him and Padme at
yeah,
this point.
yeah, yeah. Unless she's just like so oblivious, but
I don't mean to be a stickler, but I do because I
No.
like that moment too.
I think you're right though.
I was like, why is she playing? I mean, I don't know. Maybe she was playing innocent there because she was a little embarrassed too.
Yeah, she's like, "Wait, what? What do you
don't know,
mean?"
yeah.
Yeah. But then also, Anakin, you're like such a hypocrite.
That's why I was like, I thought he was like not saying it or articulating it because he can't really.
Yeah. I guess, he's like, I know that it's bad, so I'm gonna do what I say, not what I do.
Well, that's the Anakin way.
Pretty much. And she has really absorbed like the good qualities of Anakin
Yeah.
without letting the bad stuff influence her.
Some of the not bad stuff necessarily, but like impatient.
Yeah,
of
recklessness and
Anakin is-
stuff. Yeah. That's true.
But makes her interesting, makes her cool.
Yeah, I like Ahsoka in these episodes. I agree that it's a little long, it's a little boring, but
Just don't like I don't like when they like give Ahsoka like a new cast of characters for a little arc and she has to like, I don't know, rally them up or something.
Well-
I want to see her just with the regular Jedi crew and still have like a focus episode with her.
yeah. Me too.
Feels like kids table stuff to me.
I agree because then we check in with like Obi-Wan and Anakin and I'm like, hey, I'd love to actually know what's going on with them and
Yeah.
like Mace Windu and Yoda and
We're like,
stuff.
oh, you guys are gonna come help? Like, no.
The only reason why I'm smiling is because the next arc is once again Ahsoka in charge of a new little group of younglings. So at least they're Jedi.
yeah. And I know there's probably gonna be someone there
There's a
I may
certain
like.
someone that we may or may not be getting introduced to. I think these episodes are pretty actually interesting in my memory conceptually. We'll see if like how they handle like a bunch of little kid characters could be annoying. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure this stuff is going into the creation of the lightsaber and children's connection with the Force from a young age and being taken away from their families and that kind of stuff. So
I could see the kid stuff being like pretty endearing to watch Ahsoka. with them and sort of try to pass on her knowledge. And then whatever shenanigans they get up to. So,
At least it's with Jedi, and it's
Yeah.
her having to like teach Jedi or something.
and like the core plot, I guess, wouldn't sort of be focused on like, oh, I'm not supposed to interfere, so like I'm the main
Right.
character who's supposed to not really do
but I
anything.
kind of just have to be around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
to their credit, like that plot, I guess, was her like, well, I am gonna make the choice to do some things. So
I kind of like the moment where she's like about to get involved in the execution thing. She like pulls her lightsaber out, and then it's like, okay, actually they've got it under control.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was kind of nice.
yeah, I agree. I do think it's like a little funny though. Again, like the Jedi mentality there of like, well, I'll let them do it themselves until my side's losing.
Yeah.
Then I need to help, obviously.
yeah. Exactly.
So just help in the first place. Like you're putting
Right.
more lives at risk by not helping.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say like, but maybe that's just Ahsoka's morals. But Obi-Wan would do the same thing. Yeah. All right. Any closing thoughts? Thanks for
welcome.
listening. Thank you, Ryan, for joining me today.
My pleasure.